All right. All right. Welcome back to the show. It is August 25th here in the great state of Iowa. I'm Nathan Creeps, joined by my co host, Mr. Bryce Bortscheller. And it's the official first day of school. Football is back. It's beautiful weather outside.
Yep.
The world is in motion. And Bryce, take a deep breath, brother, because we made it. Life is good.
My deep breaths are a little tough right now because I've got the worst allergies I've had all year, but I'm used to it by now. I always was the kid in school that had to bring extra Kleenex boxes because I was always dead for 2 weeks.
It,
That first 2 weeks was always brutal for me.
I kind of forgot that you had them because my allergies are unbelievable bad right now too. And I when they're so bad, I try to think of the other people who are currently suffering with me. I'm like, does this
Yeah.
person have allergies? And it comes down to a very small number of people who actually severely suffering like we are every single night.
Yeah, and I've been so good. Like I've been taking some natural supplements, and I feel like in general I've just been a little bit healthier as the last 2 or 3 years have gone. Uh, I don't think I can ever avoid fall allergies. They will always get me, and they will always win.
Well, the problem I get in, I want to know if you have the same issue, is like, so I start getting them, right. Honestly, they've been really bad here for the last couple weeks. But they got really bad 2 nights ago.
Yep.
And when they get to the fact where I can't literally breathe at night, I have to take severe nasal decongestant to clear up my
Yeah.
nose. And if people don't know, when you start using that, yeah, it works for the short term, but it's going to mess you up in the long term.
Yeah.
And, because now I know I've used it the last 2 nights because I literally cannot breathe at bed. So I know I'm screwed again tonight.
Yep.
And what comes down to it is you literally have to sacrifice one night where you literally cannot use it. That way you can start improving because your body becomes so dependent on that nasal decongestion. So one of these nights this week, I'm screwed. I have to
You just
go.
have to deal with it.
Tonight might be that night, and your mouth just gets so dry. It's a terrible experience. Dude, allergies suck
it's
so much.
it's brutal, and you've got them like I think as bad as anybody I know. But anyone that doesn't suffer, I'm so jealous of you because it's your life is just on hold. It feels like for a few days. But I will say, when that cold air blew through, I think it got worse, and it was kind of worth it because it feels incredible out. It feels like peak football weather with kids going back to school. It's like, I almost want to say it's officially fall.
Yeah, it's hard not to feel that way. I think it's a high of 69 today. The rest of the week looks so unbelievable, beautiful, and you don't get that for usually the last week of August. And when I think of like back to school, I think of some of those terrible nights we had in the dorm room with no AC.
Yeah.
And oh god, I had to go sleep at Dugan's apartment my freshman year. So because he had AC, and I was not going to cuddle my box fan at night on the 12th floor of Dancer up
Yeah,
at.
you and I were both. I was floor 10. You were floor 12. Um, the rooms are so small. You have to have a lofted bed in a tiny little room that doesn't have AC. It's like the most brutal thing ever.
Mhm.
These kids are actually having a great move-in week. Not bad at all.
No. And speaking of moving week, and well, they officially moved in. Classes officially started today, but I have a great moving week story I'd like to share with you.
I want to
And
hear it.
so it would have been a couple days prior before classes started back in 2014, my freshman year at Northern Iowa. And, I'm a new kid on campus. I'm trying to get to meet people, trying to make my way with the ladies. So I was out there lurking. It's a very busy, hectic time. Everyone's moving in with their parents. A lot of people out there, very congested. And I was down by Bender Hall, and I'm lurking for some ladies to make some move, introduce my name, and I spotted her and her dad struggling to carry down a big tote. And that big staircase
Yeah.
just south of Bender. You got to go
Yep.
up if you're gonna head towards campus. And they were struggling to get that down. I walked over. Hey, my name's Nate. What's your name? Meet you. I'll help your dad carry this down. And him and I are carrying this tote thing down. And about 3/4 of the way down the staircase, it fell over. I don't know whose fault it was, but it tipped over, and out came like 3 bottles of liquor, hit the
Oh.
pavement, and they smashed everywhere. Liquor
Oh.
was everywhere, and there's people everywhere. There's RAs literally right there watching it happen. And I was so embarrassed, I just walked away.
You couldn't even like finish
No.
out that whole. Yeah. I mean that's their problem to figure out. And hopefully that young lady's dad went and bought her more liquor because there's nothing more important than having that first weekend supply. But that's hilarious.
Yeah, and the end of that semester, I wrote a paper on it, and I got an A plus. I remember my teacher loved that story.
Yeah. Yeah, the best papers are those true life stories for sure. Man, that brings so much nostalgia. I was talking to my dad last week who had just moved his kid in, and that's 11 years ago for us now. The
It's
11-year
crazy.
anniversary, and it just flies. But I remember it well, like it was yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. For any of the college kids out there, yeah, heck, even high schoolers, school sucks, sure, but also that's some of the greatest times of your life. So,
Yep.
my word of advice: just enjoy it. It'll go by fast. Before you know it, you'll be washed up 30-year-olds trying to do a podcast on a Monday morning.
Yep. Yep. Allergies and all. Dude, what'd you do this weekend? Did you have anything that's stirred up your allergies by chance? Like maybe some landscaping projects or
Yeah, yeah. Clearly, you know exactly where this is going. Yeah, there has to be a fault to where these allergies came from, and I'm always complaining about my busy life, but I'm always the one facilitating it. And before football gets going here, I have one last weekend of freedom. So, and I know we had a project. We're going to extend the patio, do a little bit of landscaping, and shout to the in-laws, the Perry in-laws. We've been through a brutal summer of house projects and doing all the dirty work. And Jim and Chris came through, and we have some pictures here. We'll throw up on the YouTube channel, but yeah, we had that back patio at my house, and we just
Mhm.
kind of went through some landscaping, extended with some pavers, and it's brought a whole new life. And man, cutting sod was one of the worst experiences of my life. And for all of you who don't know, I'm allergic to grass. I touch grass, it messes me up. And also, when you're cutting sod, it gets heavy. You got to bear hug it to carry it to where you want to go. And I think that's what messed me up. No, I don't think I know that's what messed me up.
Oh yeah, that's like your worst nightmare as a guy with allergies.
Hmm.
I'm looking at these photos. I can't stop looking at it. It looks so good.
Doesn't it look awesome?
Every project you guys have completed this summer and spring, the deck, this little patio situation, some of the even the rocks that you put around the house, it's starting to look pretty nice.
It's not much, but it's so awesome. Landscaping is such a cool project. It's a terrible project. I understand why people charge up the wazoo for it. It's a lot of labor work, but God, it brings so much life to your house. And when you're down there, Bryce, it feels like 5 times larger. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm really pumped up about this
Well, I mean,
landscaping
shoot,
this
adding a
weekend.
couple of those couple layers of brick or whatever you got there, that looks like it added 20
It's
square feet to your patio.
50 square feet.
Yeah,
Uh
that's
huh.
crazy.
And here's the cool thing: we knocked out two birds with one stone. Up on the northwest side of my house, I don't have images here, but I do have images on my phone. When they first laid our sod, because it was a new house, some sod just didn't grow, so it's been dead for the last year and a half. And the sod we ripped up to put the pavers in, we took that sod and put it in the old spots where they weren't growing. So now I have fresh grass up by my west side of the house, and that looks awesome too. Yeah, I'll send you those pictures after the podcast. But
Yeah.
so, like I said, two birds with one stone. So we weren't just throwing away the sod; we were using it
Oh
and
yeah.
pitting it somewhere where it needed it.
Home ownership life is really like, I mean, it's taxing. Obviously, you've been working your butt off for a lot of weekends this year, but it's paying off. And we've got a couple friends here in Des Moines, Jeremy Young being one of them, who's closing in on a house, and he's going to get to experience all of that. And I hope you can pass on some of that wisdom to all of us as we enter that next phase of life. One of the things that I'd like to call out is the line work you've been doing with the mower. I know that's something that a lot of Iowa dads can take pride in, and um, you've really done a good job with that.
Straight lines, baby.
Yeah.
Kind of have to. Everyone in the neighborhood does it. So if I don't do it, it's clear and obvious. And mowing's one of my favorite activities. And I'm kind of sick of it at this point because of all the rain we've got. I'm mowing twice a week. It's a little ridiculous, but
So that's I wanted to bring that up because you guys have gotten an absolute downpour. We talked a little bit about the Milwaukee floods. Like the northern part of the Midwest is getting hammered. Last week we were driving up to Scott and Dusty's wedding, and right when we hit Highway 20, there was a giant rain cloud. But we haven't seen any of that here in Des Moines. Like we have dead grass here, and
really,
the water ban has finally been lifted. The
oh,
waterworks station can keep up with the amount of nitrates in the water, and people can start, I think, watering their lawns again. But man, you guys haven't had to. You've gotten so much rain.
God, you guys have dead grass, huh?
We have dead
That's
grass.
that's
Yeah.
a, well, I guess like you said, you had the water ban. You couldn't. There's been no need to water my lawn this year because the Mother Nature is taking care of it. So which makes my life a whole lot easier. But damn, didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been great for golf courses. This
Hmm.
wet wet summer has been awesome. Usually you're hitting off dead grass at this point in the year, but it is it is flush. The Nate, I know this is a little side tangent, but the golf game is really heating up. Really heating up.
Is that what we did
You
this
had your
weekend?
a little bit. We had one round in. We also watched the Iowa State game, but it's peaking at the right time to finish off the year strong.
That's good because I feel like when we talked about our golf game, it's a wave, and I feel like you once you get past like the mid part where you expect to get better, we somehow get worse.
Yeah.
So we're actually taking the jump this year. It's same with my game. I've added 60 yards onto my drive almost with straightening it
Yep.
out, and I had my first ever 3 straight birdies last week.
That is a crazy
Uh huh.
feeling. A guy like me doesn't get very many birdies, so anytime I get it back to back, I'm pretty pumped. But 3 in a row that's scary.
Yeah, I played in a glow
The
ball
boys are
tournament
peaking.
too. Jet, did I tell you that? Yeah,
You
we did.
what?
I played in a glow ball tournament Saturday too in Wellsburg, Iowa.
Really?
Yeah. After we landscaped all day, I'm like, oh, and by the way, we got to play in the glow ball tournament tonight with their parents. It was a 4-person couples glow ball
So I'm assuming
tournament.
you play in the dark and you got like a glow in the dark ball.
Yep, super cool. I don't know. So
Yeah, that sounds
clearly,
awesome.
you've never done it.
No,
That's
that
my
sounds cool.
third one I've ever done. You got to do it at the right course. You got to do it on a very open course because you only get one ball unless if you buy extras and they're expensive. And this course was kind of tight, and you're next to a cornfield. So if you go into the cornfield, it's history. Madison lost her ball in the very first shot of the day. Luckily,
Ugh.
we bought extra, but super cool. But the problem, dude, it got cold.
Yeah.
It's a long. We teed off at 8. I don't think we got done till midnight, and you only play 9 holes. So it's a long 9 holes, and we landscaped all day too. So we were pretty shot. And I remember my final putt of the day. It was like a 30-foot putt for birdie, and I was frozen. I could barely move, but I think because I was so frozen, I hit the perfect straight line putt, and I knocked it in for birdie, like a
Oh,
30
that's
foot.
awesome.
So fun experience, but it was really cold, man.
That's cool. I need to do one of those.
Hmm.
That's either way. I mean, it's just fun that I feel like we're turning the corner on the golf game. We started late in life, and it's going to take a little extra work for us. But you know, if we're winning money in some of these tournaments and we're hitting back-to-back birdies, sometimes 3 in a row, that's bad news for our enemies.
Yeah, I'd say for the first time we're actually hitting golf shots in
Yep.
our game. So
Yep. No better feeling than that, where you actually feel like a legitimate player.
no, there's not. So outside of golf and watching the clones, anything else you got done?
Well, did you get our wedding invite in the mail?
Probably. Yeah, I gotta go check it after this. It's probably
I
sitting up
think I
there.
think you should have a save the date in the mail.
Okay.
Trying to think what else we did. We were supposed to go to a wedding show on Sunday, but we had a little too much fun. Darian did some sort of wine tasting at Jasper Winery on Saturday, and all the boys went over to the Thompson household and watched the Cyclones play and started the betting. The
Yes.
first 4 bets of my 2026 football season have gone my way, so I know that it's going downhill next weekend.
Yep, dude, that's exactly how it goes. I made a ridiculous amount of money on the first week of college football last year. I couldn't miss. I
Yep.
was hitting plus 600 bets, and then the next 12 weeks destroyed my life.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was fun. Last week's pod was awesome to kind of preview the Cyclones with Mason, and I think it gave me a little intel on the bet slips.
did good. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll be recapping the Cyclone football game in Dublin, Ireland here a little bit later in the show. But it was so good to see football on the screen. I didn't catch
yep,
all of it because I was trying to do some landscaping and listen at the same time. We bought a portable TV this year for tailgating, Colby and I,
nice.
and I'm still trying to figure out how that thing works. So that's what him and I are going to be doing after this podcast, getting our tailgate equipment ready for Saturday. And we'll be previewing tailgate in Iowa versus Albany too. But Bryce,
Yeah,
without further ado, we have what's today? August 25th. So
the
towards the
25th. Yeah,
25th, and today we got a high of 69 degrees here in Waterloo, Iowa. That's something to celebrate in its own right. And it can't. I'm so happy right now. So let's dive into August 25th weather records to see what we could have potentially had that I'm glad we're not having. The highest temperature ever recorded for Waterloo, Iowa was set in 2003. Wow, not
oh,
1935. And a high of 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Lowest ever recorded was 39 degrees. Holy shit.
that's crazy. A
And
high of 39 in August is insane.
oh my God. Yeah. And that was set in 1915. Most rain, 2.94 inches, set back in 1994, the year right before I was born. And average high of 80 degrees. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, we're definitely below. It feels like we're in
Oh
the middle
yeah.
of September with this weather, but I'll take it. I'm totally over the 98 degrees and humid.
Oh God, yeah, we had a terrible 2 3 week stretch right there. Well, I mean,
What
we
is God, what 1915 39 degrees? What the hell was happening in World War 1? It's
I
fucking
don't know. I wonder if a volcano blew up around the world or something and covered the sunlight for like a month or something. That's my best guess. Nonetheless, Bryce, this next stat I'm going to hit with it on this day in Iowa, on August 25th, is going to hit a little. We are going home to
Oh
Pella,
yeah.
Iowa. In 1868, Hendrik Schulte, the religious leader and founder of Pella, Iowa, passed away. Schulte led around 850 Dutch immigrants to America in 1847, settling in Iowa and establishing the town Pella.
A titan of the state for sure.
Did you know this guy?
Yep. You know,
Oh,
I didn't know him well. I we would kind of be forced. I think I've told this story before on the pod, but I moved back to Pella in 4th grade, and my first day, they were talking about how we had to do tulip time prep, and tulip time is a very big deal in the state of Iowa, both in Orange City and Pella. You know, as a 4th grader, 10 years old, not knowing anybody, I was not looking forward to having to wear wooden shoes and a Dutch costume. But nevertheless, 1 month later, I had to throw on the costume and the shoes and sing "We Are the Kids of Pella, Iowa." And another part of being in grade school is you tour all the historical sites. So yes, I did go to the Schulte House, which is right next to the town square, and they do a lot to promote the culture there and all of the people that were original settlers. So damn,
no.
Hendrick.
Pella, Iowa, one of the top 5 unique towns in Iowa. I would definitely say probably one of the most unique towns. There's no doubt about
Mm.
it. In August 25th, 1934, the Backbone State Park, Iowa's first ever state park, was dedicated on this day. You ever been
Backbone
there?
is cool.
You
Yeah.
ever been there?
Yep.
Where is it?
Yeah. Over. I think that one's in Manchester.
Oh shit! So it's my neck of the woods.
Yeah, and if you haven't gone, that's worth going. It's pretty cool. And then you could travel, I think, 60 more miles and go to Makokata Caves. So there's some pretty cool stuff over in your neck of the woods, northeast Iowa.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anytime you get to Eastern Iowa, it's gonna be looking really pretty here. I'd say in about 2 3 weeks, maybe a little
Yeah.
farther than that, a little maybe a month. It depends how cold the air gets with the leaves turning. Man, I got spooky feeling. We can't be getting. We got to be careful. We got to
Yep.
be careful how close and how much we start talking about fucking Halloween and spooky season. But with
I'll
this
get too
weather,
excited. We actually, just because of the weather, we started talking about Halloween costumes. And I know that
oh
you
no,
usually pretty much decide that pretty far in advance, but this is, I think, as early as we've locked down our Halloween costume in four or five
you
years.
have one decided already.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always have a list. My list is in the works 365 days a year. Always added something to it, taking something off. But I don't make the final decision probably until about Halloween. Or not,
Oh,
no,
okay. So
I
you're
mean till October.
Gotcha. So you just have the running list
Mm-hmm.
early. Gotcha. Okay.
Always. It's
Yeah,
great.
I agree. Too early to talk about that. It's not too early to talk about football, but yeah, Halloween's still too far out.
Speaking of football, right before we get into the clones here, we got a little bit of Iowa news. Bryce, the legend himself, Hawkeye Elvis, has publicly announced his retirement from dressing up as Elvis and attending Iowa football and basketball sporting events. And I'll give you my personal opinion on this. Hawkeye Elvis, first off, thank you for your dedication and
Yep.
loyalty to the University of Iowa. It was a good stretch, but when you have a feeling that it's time to be done, I have that hunch. It was time to be done because
Yep.
in my close circle, we call it the Hawkeye Elvis curse. If you
Oh
see
no.
him at your sporting event, write Iowa off for a loss because they're losing. This guy brought nothing but bad juju and terrible luck to the University of Iowa.
I
You
didn't know
know,
that. I thought
in
Hawkeye
recent
Elvis
years.
would have been okay. Okay. At one point, I feel like he had to have. They had to have won a game when he was wearing that, and he's like, "I have to do this every
Hmm.
week now."
Yeah, I was cool
But
with
yeah,
it.
what was it? Did he do that for like 15 years that I saw?
God, probably even longer. I don't know how long he's been doing it. I feel like he's been around ever since I've been around. I've seen this guy way too many times. He had kind of a creepy stretch with Luca Garza's dad in the COVID year, going to the Big Ten tournament, and they're carrying around like a cutout of Ryan Kriener. It was kind of weird vibes.
Yeah.
He's a weird guy, man. But he's
That's
weird but
odd.
cool.
And
I'm a weird dude. I
100%. I
respect
mean, if
it.
you're wearing Elvis costume for 15
Uh-huh.
years straight, you've got a little something, a couple screws loose.
Uh-huh.
So, I
And
mean, I'm not going to,
no,
yeah.
no. I love the loyalty. I love these. That's why we love college sports. These weird fans. What makes sports awesome, right? But it was time. It was time for him to hang it up. I respect him for closing the chapter.
Yeah.
I
Thanks
do.
for your service. That is what makes college sports fun. Nate, I think I threw something on here last minute. Did you see the Field of Dreams game is returning to Dyersville, Iowa next year?
No, aren't they doing every other year? Is that how it goes now?
I think so, and I think they've constructed a permanent facility for when it is in Iowa. And this is good news. I know we've done our fair share of complaining that we are the Field of Dreams. Like
Hmm.
that really should never go anywhere but Iowa. But good news, it is coming back. It looks like it will be the Phillies and the Twins in 2026.
Cool. They got a local team. You got to have at least a
Yep.
local Midwest team always playing at the Field of Dreams. Man,
Yep.
that first game. You remember that buzz in the state of
Yeah.
Iowa when the Yankees were playing like the first place Chicago White Sox
Mm-hmm.
and a walk off homer to end it.
Yep.
Oh,
Just total storybook night.
it
The
was.
sunset, everything. Everyone was going crazy. You're like, oh my god, I was cool. And I think a lot of people don't know that. I think you think of cornfields, flat ground, and not a lot of fun things to do. But Iowa's beauty was on display that night, and I'm just excited. I think it's important that as much as I did complain that these small areas around the nation were getting promoted and getting the national spotlight, because I think it is cool to celebrate rural America. So I'm pumped it's coming back.
We own the Field of Dreams. Let's keep it here in the state of Iowa. That's ours. That's our baby. Don't take it away
Yep.
from us. We don't have any major sporting events here in the state of Iowa, so give us this one, and we deserve it.
Yep. Agreed.
Right? How good was it to see football on our screen this past weekend, week 0?
Oh, it was so good. And
It,
again, I don't know if an Iowa team has ever kicked off week 0. So to have a team from the state playing overseas, getting the national spotlight, it was awesome. So not just football being on, but a team that you can kind of cheer for.
when we were talking last week with Mason, after the episode, I didn't feel so good about it because I feel like it still wasn't football season.
Yeah.
I feel like it just wasn't naturally fitting yet, but now it's officially seeing football be played on the TV. I feel more comfortable talking about it. I'm more energized about it and excited about it. And like I said, I was trying my best to watch it. I was listening to the entire thing while we're doing our landscaping adventure. But Matt Campbell, they cap off his 100th career win in fashion in Dublin, Iowa versus number 17 Kansas State Wildcats. And that's a massive,
Yeah.
massive win for Iowa State. You think about it, this game's been on their calendar for over a year, right? Ever since they finished their game against Miami, this has been on their minds. It's been on Cycle Nation's mind. Matt Campbell's the football players' minds. So it's good to get this monkey off their back, and they
Hmm.
did it in international fashion. And what an awesome game it was. It was ugly. It was ugly.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. It's week 0. Things are going to get a little ugly, but they got the job done, and they could take a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. You know that when you're planning a game that far in advance, there's going to be extra pressure. I saw some crazy stat of all the players that needed to get passports and the amount of catering that they had to do. And, when all that hype is going into a game, you really want to win that one, especially when it's a conference rival. Yeah, huge win for number 100, even cooler. I would say that it was sloppy, but towards the second half, when the rain kind of calmed down, you started to see the semblance of real football being played, and a team that I think is going to be formidable in the Big 12.
Both of them. Both of them. They really are.
Both will be good.
Uh-huh. We got to take a stab at Mason. He said the strong suit was looking like it was going to be Iowa State's secondary, which it very well could be throughout the rest of the season. Like we said, first week, you never know what the hell is going on. You're figuring things out. The secondary got toasted on 2 long plays that kept Kansas State in this game. Otherwise, it really could have been more of an Iowa State 14-point victory potentially. But they got the job done. Like Rocco Beck wasn't spectacular, but he had 2 touchdowns, 14 for 28 through the air, 1 rushing touchdown on top of that, and Carson Hansen with 71 rushing yards on 16 attempts. And that shaky spot we're talking about with Abu Sama last year
Yeah.
looks like it. So far, it's obviously carried into the season. Had that first jitter fumble right away,
Yeah.
right in the red zone. Just couldn't quite get things going yet.
Yeah, I think so many things that you just mentioned are like early season things. I think jury is still out on Abu. I'm not sure where he fits in. Carson Hansen just does such a good job of being that reliable back. You know, I'm waiting for a receiver to step up for them. I'd like to see who that wide receiver number one's going to be because you lost Higgins and Noel, and you definitely noticed a couple. And maybe it was wet, right? Like maybe it's the rain. The
A
drop
lot of
passes
drop
are
passes.
because it's moisture, right? But man, I'm a little bit worried about those weapons. And then, like you said, you've got veteran guys in the defensive backfield that gave up crucial touchdowns. But again, it's early. I'm not writing a full script for how the season will go. I think you know Kansas State probably had some things that they wanted to go differently. They'll be tough this year. Iowa State, it's still early to tell. I think you'll learn a lot by the time they play Iowa in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The main thing is this: they got the W, right? It doesn't matter how
Mm-hmm.
pretty it was going to be. It's week 0. The entire country, the entire world is basically watching you. The first ever ranked matchup uh, in Ireland for this game. And like I said, we were one of our main topics too. We're talking about the Cyclones was the receiver core, the receiving core.
Mm-hmm.
How many times were we recapping Iowa State victories and games last year where Noel and Higgins would each have 120 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns together, right?
Yep.
And the leading receiver is 48 yards this game. So you
Yeah.
knew that was going to be a shaky start. Things will get going. I trust Rocco Beck. But when Rocco Beck had to be the leader and get the job done, that's exactly what he did. And he put the
Yeah.
team on his back. And it wasn't super stylish, but enough to get the win. And that's,
It
like I
was. It's
said,
scrappy. I just love how he plays ball, and I don't know how you replace 2,000-yard receivers. I don't think you ever do that, especially at a level like Iowa State and Iowa. You don't have the NIL money. You don't have the way to recruit those guys. A lot of them have to be homegrown. But yeah, Rocco got scrappy. He threw to his boy Hansen on that 4th down,
hmm
which I love, and I love that he used his legs when it made sense. And you're just going to see, I think, a veteran make the most of a team that lost some very key players.
Iowa State comes back, and now we advance to week 1. And they'll be hosting the South Dakota Coyotes. And I'm trying to warn people. I'm not shitting on Iowa State here. This is my respect to the top 10 teams in FCS football, right? When people think of Division 2, they think there's this huge gap, which there could be from like the 10th ranked team up to whatever how many teams are on the FCS. But when you get inside the top 10 and these South Dakota Coyotes are number 5 in the coaches poll, the physicality is there.
Yeah.
It's there. It's something to be respected. And it takes me back to when Iowa played Mark Gronowski and South Dakota State Jackrabbits in 2023. The first
Yep.
game of the season, everyone's thinking, oh, we're in an FCS school. We're going to be fine. I was the only person worried at that tailgate that day. I was trying to tell them,
Yeah.
like, you guys, we need to be taking this freaking game serious. I mean,
Yep.
this is, yeah, sure, they're FCS level, but there's a breed of cats here, and they feel
I mean,
disrespected.
Yeah, Campbell's saying it. He's like, this is not a game to overlook.
Oh,
The FCS will more times than not have some sort of upset in week 1, and whether it's Big 12, Big 10, or God, the one I remember the most is the David Johnson Iowa State year. But before that, it was Appalachian State over Michigan. Like more times than not, there's an upset in week 1 from one of these teams,
I think
and
you're
you just hope it's not you.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of the David Johnson Iowa year where David Johnson had like 3 touchdowns. Well, he probably did it against Iowa State too.
Oh yeah, he
Uh,
beat Iowa State and then almost beat Iowa
uh-huh.
single-handedly. Thankfully, I think that was the game where they blocked a bunch of field goals.
That wasn't. It was in '09. It was before David Johnson's era when Iowa had to block
Oh
back-to-back field goals and then went on to be the number 3 ranked team in the country later in that season.
yeah.
It's possible. Yeah, these teams are built different. And a good point of example I have is one of the workers at Foxbridge Public Golf Course used to play football at Iowa, and now he transitioned from Iowa to UNI to play football. And he talks about, he's like, I thought I was gonna be head above shoulders when I came down to UNI. He's like, I was practicing against Iowa guys. He's like, the level of competition is the same. You're
Yeah.
you're actually surprised when you move from one level to another. It's there. The physicality is there. There's going to be a talent gap. There's no doubt about it. So, like I said, this can be I think, a tough first quarter battle when we
Mhm.
predict both Basin, and then you'll see Iowa State hopefully take advantage and get. I think the spread's only 14 points.
Yeah, and I think Mason was dead on. I think that's a game where you win, maybe closer than you think, maybe not cover the spread, but I think Campbell's going to instill the right mentality into the guys. This is not a slough week. You got to come in ready to play.
No, not after the game we saw against Kansas State too. If there's something that was really going to separate this game, it would have been the receivers from last year from Iowa State. That's what would tear apart this game and open it up. I just don't see that quite explosive play yet from Iowa State. Maybe they find it this week. Maybe
Hmm.
let the first week jitter settle down. They're playing overseas now. They're back at Jack Trice. Things are starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. And this is where we learn a lot. The first couple of weeks of college football. We don't know what we're going into each week, and it's what makes it really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, not to remind Iowa State fans of what could happen, but just to kind of prepare you for what could happen with South Dakota State this week. 12 years ago, David Johnson scores 4 touchdowns, and Northern Iowa beats Iowa State 28-20. This is only to warn you. This is not to bring up a bad
No,
memory. This is to warn you that South Dakota State could be legit.
yeah, I'm giving you advice. Take this game
Yep.
seriously. I am. I
Yep.
really am. And by the end of the game, we could be like, we won by 21 points. Thank God. You move forward.
Yep.
They,
And do
they
what you're supposed to. Yeah.
do
Yep.
get the job done, right? And I think it's just another week of get the job done, and then you prepare for Iowa, right? The big
Yep.
the big season really starts going.
Speaking of the Hawks and tailgating and all the preparation you're doing right after this pod, what can we expect against the Albany? What is their God? They got a
Great
hilarious
Danes.
mascot. Yeah, the
Great
Great Danes. Yeah. What
First,
can we expect here?
first and foremost, the most exciting thing about this game is the weather. I can't
Yes.
tell you how many times the opening week game where you're cooking a 100-degree tailgate all day, and then you go to the game, it's 11 a kickoff, and where I sit in the stadium, you have no shade, and you're just getting torched in the sun, and you're watching Iowa play the super shitty team of an FCS school. It's a terrible experience. The weather makes or breaks it. It really does in the first 2 weeks of college football when you're playing these low tier teams. So right away, it's 74-degree kickoff or 74-degree high that day, and that gets me so fucking excited for this game. And they move it to a 5 o'clock kickoff. It's a much later game, which Iowa usually does for the opening kickoff of the season. So that adds a little new excitement to the atmosphere that day in Iowa City. And I just can't wait to get out to the old Think Buying lot and start crushing some beers and get the grill going and watching a great day of college football on our portable TV. You got Ohio
Yeah.
State and Texas going at it in the horseshoe. So,
I'm so excited for that game too, and
woo!
it's so much more fun when you got both Iowa and Iowa State playing. I am looking forward to that Arch Manning debut. I think he might be a little overrated, and I don't want to offend Texas fans here, but I think that could be a little bit of a rude awakening. Running
Dude,
the offense yourself, you came in last year basically as the hero with zero pressure. This is kind of your first look at a real ball team.
yeah, it makes it easier when everyone around you is probably a 5-star recruit and a lot of
Mhm.
talent in Texas, but you're going into the horseshoe, the defending national
Yeah,
champions that lost a lot of talent last year, but it's still Ohio State and it's still one of the most hostile environments in college football. The Tennessee Volunteers learned that real quick last year. So excited to watch that. A bunch of other good games throughout the day. Uh, Going back to Iowa Albany here, Albany's terrible. 2 years ago, they made to the semifinals. They were 11-3 at that time. Man, they played Mark Gronowski in the South Dakota State Jackrabbits brace, and South Dakota State won 59-0.
hmm
And so there was a little bit of winning culture there for a 1 year stretch for Albany. Last year they're 4-8, so just not a very rich tradition there. Obviously, um, go out, get the job done. I think Iowa's 37.5 point favorites. It's pretty big. That's
it's a lot.
disrespecting.
I mean, if you're betting on that game, that's a lot of points to cover.
Well, you got to take in the fact that it, Iowa starters are probably going to get pulled in the fourth quarter. Make
Yeah.
sure you're ready to go. You, I don't know what to expect here. I'm going to watch Mark Gronowski all day, right? I'm going to watch our secondary and Mark Gronowski all day. Those are the points of emphasis. I'm looking forward to see how Mark feels with the team, rolling around, stepping outside the pocket, making some decent passes. I don't think you're going to see too much. I would assume
hmm
not. They want to keep things secured for the following week in Ames, Iowa. But it'll just go out. It'll be get a feel for the college football season. Go out, do Iowa, bully ball them, and let's move on to week 2.
Yeah, I'd love to see him throw for 18 times max, go 12 of 18, one passing touchdown. I'd like to see, whether it's opening drive or first quarter. I want to see an early preview of what excitement is to come, and then I'd love to just pound Patterson and the boys from the running game. I think I'd like to see the starters get pulled a little earlier than the fourth quarter. Like if you can get up to 21-point lead by halftime and then pull by mid third quarter, I think that's optimal. Not now. I don't know if that's how it's going to go, but I'd love to see that.
Yeah. God, what was I gonna say? Lose my train of thought here. You're gonna see a dominant offensive line. That's what I'm looking
Hmm.
forward to. Too. Um, shit, I lost
Don't you
my
think
train
it'd be kind of exciting to
of thought.
see the backup quarterbacks? I've heard so much from the camp of,
Yeah, Hank
all
Brown.
these guys coming in, basically with a brand new system. Gronowski gets the nod as the starter, but it sounds like there's some interesting backup quarter. I'd love to see those guys air it out a little bit too if you get a big lead.
Yeah, yeah, no, Hank Brown looked awesome. Apparently, kid scrimmage, but if quarterback play, I'm not gonna don't overlook it, Bryce. You've been on that trend. Don't
Hmm.
until we get a couple weeks into the season because Cade McNamara threw for 3 touchdowns last year, the opening game against Illinois State.
Yep.
So let's,
I know it almost got us too excited. I
uh-huh,
just want to see like positive momentum in the
hmm,
quarterback room, and that's all I need.
good
I don't need to be
fundamental
like, yeah, oh,
football
he threw
play.
for 3 touchdowns, and it's like that's almost like a curse.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look at stats so much this game. I'm gonna watch the game itself. Watch
Yeah.
from a football perspective here, and we'll find out. Like I said, just go and get the job done and stay healthy. That's your main thing. Get out of
Yes.
this game. Get out of this game healthy,
Yep.
and prepare yourselves for the massive game for the Cyhawk series and Ames, Iowa next week. So,
Yep.
hey, we're here, man. It's exciting to be talking football, and I can't wait to recap it next week. Hopefully, I don't. Hopefully, something spooky doesn't happen where I have to reevaluate my life for the next 12 weeks. I really don't want that to happen already. Bryce, and then audience, we're gonna be ranking our top 5 roadside attractions here in the state of Iowa. We'll get a little bit more detail. You'll see as our list progresses. We've had some similar topics. There's no doubt about it, but I threw a couple twists in here that I think a lot of people are going to relate to.
Cool. Yeah, and I tried to stay pretty far away from anything that I've ranked before. I think maybe a couple crossovers, but for the most part, very obscure, random things that I remember seeing on my road trips through Iowa.
All right, I'll go ahead and lead us off with this list. My number 5, Bryce, is when you're driving on I-80 in Altoona, Iowa, and you can see the top of the space shot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Love that.
It's a great feeling.
Your first look at Adventureland is
Uh-huh.
always interesting on I-80. Yep.
And it's
I love
always a
that.
great, especially when you're going into the metro, because you know that you finally made it to the metro area, right? You're
Yep.
you're doing a long, congested hike on I-80, and the first sight you see is a space shot. It's a
Yeah.
top 10 feeling here in the state.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I've got a similar one. The Traveler's Umbrella when you're coming into Des Moines. If you
Oh, yes.
Yeah, if you go
Or the
downtown
principal.
235 from 35, you start to see that Traveler's Umbrella and the Wells Fargo Arena. So I'm going to lump those into one big Des Moines moment.
We're just ranking the tallest things in Iowa
Yeah,
so
just
far.
things you see, right? Yeah,
It's a great feeling, though. It really is. That traveler sign, Bryce. That's a great pick.
random poll.
That's a great poll right there. I'm excited to hear the rest of your list. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is a Sinclair dinosaur in Cherokee, and Sinclair has a lot of these dinosaurs all across the nation. It's kind of their calling card, but the one that I remember driving on Highway 20, leaving Sioux Center, was the Sinclair dinosaur in Cherokee, Iowa. As a kid, big dinosaur fan. Thought that was pretty fun to see a little Brontosaurus.
Awesome. Yep. I see a lot of people always taking pictures with it.
Yep.
That was a super popular
Yeah,
trend.
genius marketing by them.
Uh-huh. My number 4 is the world's largest strawberry. And the reason I'm
Yep.
bringing this up is because I saw it for the first time in my life 2 weeks ago. I finally got up to Strawberry Point.
Strawberry Point.
Yep, I was making a delivery outside Strawberry Point, and when I saw it, usually when you see these roadside landmarks or these historical wonders of Iowa, you're a little
Underwhelmed.
yeah,
Yeah.
underwhelmed. For this time, I was actually pretty overwhelmed. I'm like, it's bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So that fact alone makes me appreciate it even more, and it's pretty cool.
Good timing for you too, because they actually just took the strawberry down to clean it and got it back up later in the summer.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you came at a good time. Yeah, that's a good one. Am I circling back?
Nope. I think I am with my number 3.
Okay.
The world's largest truck stop. Because
Yep.
it's had a bigger impact in my life.
Yep.
As a truck driver, prior to being a truck driver, I've always just driven by it, thought nothing of it. Now
Hmm.
that I'm frequently stopping there, and it just makes me happy. There's a lot
Yeah.
going on in there. I get Wendy's every single time I'm inside there. Take a look at the trucking museum a little bit. It's a
Hmm.
great stop. I really
Yeah.
appreciate driving by it.
Big fan of that one too. You'll see it on my list. I love going there. For some reason, I've been going to the Quad Cities a little bit more than I expected the last couple of years, and I do make it an effort to go to
And
Walcott
that's
and the
another
World's
thing too. When you're
Largest.
on your way to the Quad Cities and you hit the
Mm-hmm.
world's largest truck stop, you know you're damn close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
They're
10
mile
minutes away at
markers.
that point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. Well, I guess I'll just circle back with the world's largest truck stop, Nate. Since
Okay.
we're on that topic, it's fun. I always kind of avoided it, thought it was funny. I'm like, oh, that's a hilarious sign. Doesn't even look that big, honestly. Like you look at a Buc-ee's when you're traveling out west or down south, they look huge too. But I like that we have something to hang our hat on. Circling back,
You're number 2.
my number 2 is the Pocahontas statue in Pocahontas, Iowa. Another one from when I was a kid. And we were
Oh.
road tripping back and forth between grandparents' houses. We'd always stop in Pocahontas to use the restroom, grab a bite to eat. And I always thought the big Pocahontas statue was cool.
Yeah, yeah. We used to play Pocahontas in basketball once a year, and that was always a big thing driving by and see the big old statue chilling there.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
huge.
My number 2, Bryce, is you just can't beat it. It's the world's largest frying pan. I
Yeah.
fucking love that thing. I
Brandon,
love
Iowa, right?
Brandon, Iowa. I love driving on my way to work and seeing the exit for Brandon, Iowa, and there's only one thing on my mind, and it's the world's largest frying pan. Bryce, once every 3 months on my way home, I'll take the extra half-hour route up to Hudson, Iowa. I'll go through Brandon, Iowa, just so I can see the freaking frying pan sitting there.
Yeah. I think we did talk about this one a few months ago. And sadly, I think there is a larger frying pan now in Florida.
Shit.
But I think we still claim, at least north of, the Mason-Dixon line, we have the largest
Here's my
frying pan.
thing. Anyway, it could always get bigger, but when you're the first one to make like a ridiculous life-size replica of it, you're the cool
Yeah,
one.
you're grandfathered in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So anyone who's ever out doing it now, you're losers. Go do something new
Agreed.
that hasn't been done yet. Like go make the world's largest, like I don't fucking know, like a note card. Go make the world's
Mhm.
largest note card that's made out of metal or something.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I think we get to keep that one because we were first.
My number 1 here is kind of a hidden gem. I'm really pumped up about this one. For my number 1 roadside attraction landmark here in the state of Iowa is the Beatles submarine on Highway 20.
What is that?
Have
I've
you
never even
you've
heard of
never
it.
see it's a hidden gem. It really is.
Yeah.
It's just east of Storm Lake by about a half hour, I believe. Maybe a little bit farther than that. It's a
Okay.
Beetle submarine sitting on the corner of a of a farmer's field, and you'll look it up here. Here, look it up real quick. Look it up.
Okay.
I want you to get a
So
glimpse
I'm
of it.
guessing this is based off the Beatles' Yellow Submarine.
Yep, it's just chilling there. Beetle submarine, Iowa.
There it is. The big yellow submarine. I have never heard of this, but
Uh
I'm super involved.
huh.
All of a sudden I'm very, very interested. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
It's a septic
All the
tank.
years doing Iowa Chill content, all the years doing these landmarks, and I've never known about the Beatles
Yeah, yeah.
submarine. This is awesome.
Yep. It's the only thing I look forward to going to Storm Lake is getting
And
to see.
it's a giant propane tank.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. That's awesome. Good poll. That's crazy.
Hmm.
All right, I'm going to finish off with the Field of Dreams site in Dyersville, Iowa. I saw this, I think, 15 years ago, driving up to Dubuque to see some relatives. We made the extra time to go to the Field of Dreams site. At the time, I was still playing Little League Baseball. Thought it was pretty cool. Got to play some catch on the site. One of my favorite stops in all the state.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're continuously giving respect to the Field of Dreams.
Yep.
We everyone, especially Tim Flatter at the Moonlight Graham, know that I'm a work in progress on developing my love for the Field of Dreams. I don't hate it. I thought the game that happened there with the White Sox and the Yankees is one of the coolest things to ever take place in the state of Iowa. But maybe I just need to go see it and baptize myself in the atmosphere of the Field of Dreams.
You do, and I have to, if I'm being completely honest, there's a reason I keep bringing it up, and it's just to kind of slowly brainwash you to be a little bit more interested in it.
Man. Bryce, I loved your poll from the Traveler sign. I think that's one of the
Yeah.
coolest shit you've said on this podcast.
That was random, right? Like, I remember that one coming in for state basketball, like as a kid. Like
And
for some
seeing
reason, that
Wells
just like
Fargo.
sticks out in your memory.
Wells Fargo has a beautiful structure from the outside. Well, the Casey Center now, from the highway there, and just knowing the dome, the Capitol was right there next to it. They got the principal.
Yeah,
For the
I think
first.
coming into Des Moines right at dusk is a cool scene. It's fun to see like Principal Park, Casey Center, the big bridge, the Traveler sign. Like it has like a element of aura to it.
You know what? I'll do a little honorable mention here. God, what is it? What's the big skyscraper in Cedar Rapids? Alliant Energy. The Alliant
Yep.
Energy. You go through the big S curve in downtown Cedar Rapids. The one good thing about Cedar Rapids, you get a little city feel to it. And if
Yep.
you catch the Alliant Energy early enough in the morning or at the beginning of the night, it'll be in
All lit
beautiful
up.
colors. Yeah, they'll switch
Yep.
up the colors. So that's a great site there. And because of the S curve, they have the casino. I drive by it every
Oh yeah.
day. They're pitting it up. It's coming together. So it's gonna be a cool little stretch of downtown there. And they have Big Grove Brewery and the Pickle Palace, Cedar
Yeah.
Rapids. You're
Cedar
listening to
Rapids
us.
downtown is like they've been trying for
Uh
years. We
huh.
lived downtown, I think, in 2017 or 18, and they just had started to like really put some extra effort into the downtown after the floods. And yeah, I guess an honorable mention for me was always the Quaker Oats. Driving to see my grandparents over in Cedar Rapids,
Yeah.
I'd always think the Quaker Oats building was kind of fun. That big old guy up top.
I think it looks cool now with the flood walls they built by it,
Yeah.
great flood walls,
Yep.
and that's exactly what they're doing all throughout that stretch of downtown building. They're not going to let that happen again.
When is that casino set to be done?
I don't know, but if I know casinos, it's going to be done sooner than most buildings because the sooner that baby's up, the more money and the
Yeah.
quicker money they're going to be
Like, don't
making.
waste any time constructing it because it's
Uh,
just going to be a money
yeah,
machine.
yeah. One of my former coworkers, who's a semi driver, is constantly delivering steel to the project. So
Yeah.
it's farther along than I thought it would be. I'll give you an update when
Okay.
I drive by when I go to
Well,
work
we'll
tomorrow.
have to swing over there when it's done and test our luck, see if it's a lucky casino or not.
Yeah, we definitely will.
They, we've got a lot of stuff going on these next few weeks. We've got a tailgate on this Saturday. We've got Cyhawk in 2 weeks, and then we go to Vegas in 3. It's going to be a crazy stretch.
And then after that, Iowa has like Indiana, Penn State, Oregon, Minnesota, all
Yeah.
at home. Uh, we're in the good times, baby. It's gonna be
Yep.
busy, crazy. We're gonna blink. We're gonna be watching Iowa play Nebraska for the final regular season of the game. Man, just enjoy it. With this weather, life is good. Great episode today, Bryce. I appreciate it. A lot of our conversation, and thanks for everybody for tuning in. We're looking forward to this football season. I think it'd be special for both Iowa and Iowa State.
Yep, I think so too. Yeah, it was fun battling the allergies and everything. We
Yeah,
got
good
through
luck
it.
on
We did
that.
good.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could. I might be struggling. I gotta go take my allergy pill after this. God, I'm glad you're struggling with me, man. I'm
It's good
sorry.
to have
I'm sorry for
good
you,
to have
but
company.
it sucks. It really does.
Cool. Well, let's have a great week.